In this video, we're going to review setting up standard services to use with the print calculator. The first thing we're going to do is head over to Admin, then Standard Services. Now from our standard services list, we could choose whether we could want to add a new standard service, which you could do from the quick links here, or we could look at an existing standard service. For the sake of this video, we're going to go ahead and just look at this print item service at the top here. So if we look at this service, there's some pretty standard stuff in here, name, description, code. For the sake of today, we're just going to look at things that are relevant to the print calculator. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is service action. So services can do two things in relation to the print calculator. One, they can actually launch the print calculator. So if we want that to happen, when this service is selected, then you're going to select the service action of launch print calculator. If you do that, then everything else in this service is not used in the calculator. So don't worry about filling in pricing or speeds or fees or anything like that. From a pricing perspective, nothing else will be used if launch print calculator is selected. Now, if you wanted to use this service as a print additional service, then we could select print additional service here. This would make this service available inside the standard print calculator. And then from here, we can choose whether we want our run rate type to be units per hour, which is standard, or inches or feet per hour if you're using it in a roll setting. Our unit type, so we can choose to multiply our unit rate by estimated press time, net impressions, quantity, run sheets, or nothing at all. Now our unit per hour is what we would use to actually define that. So if we put a penny a piece and we wanted to multiply it by net impressions, and that's how we're going to price this service. Then if there was 1 million net impressions, we'd multiply 1 million by a penny, and that's how we would get the pricing for this service. We could also decide whether or not this service was going to be marked up or not. So we can include it in our print cost and then mark it up, or we can have a flat rate service like a normal midnight service and have that added after the fact. And we can also choose to hide this service from the regular standard service dropdown from within the order or estimate departments. Likewise, if we wanted to use this service in the wide format calculator, just two options here. We can select what kind of unit. So for the wide format calculator, we can price by a few different options. Square foot total or each, per linear inch for the perimeter. So it'll add up the actual size of the perimeter of the piece, and you could charge by inch. Or you can charge by the length or width of the piece, standard quantity, or NA, which would not multiply your unit price by anything. And then you can define a unit price here. Likewise, if you're using an additional service, you can select Launch Service Wizard, and this will actually allow you to define a service wizard that launches whenever you select this additional service from within the calculator. Keep in mind that additional services still work with our standard service volume pricing. And you can define or predefine, say, a machine department and machine for the dynamic job board.